Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. This is the fabric we're working on today. We'll be needing our materials, which is our chalk, our tape roll, our pattern master, and scissors, and our tape roll. So guys, first off, we'll be taking our length measurement, which is from our shoulder to the end of our boubou gown. The length I will be working on is 57 inches with additional 1 inches or 1 and 3/4 for our folding at the end of our fabric, which is 58 and 3/4 inches for the length of our boubou. So with that, next thing I will be doing now is taking our armhole from the shoulder to the end of our sleeve opening. Now I'll take it. The sleeve I'm working on is 14 inches wide, so divided by 2, that's 7 inches, plus 1 inches is 8 inches. 1 inches is for the sewing allowance. Guys, this boubou gown I'm working on is folded on the shoulder part, so there won't be any need of sewing it. So now we are taking our round measurement. For the hip I'm working on is 39 inches, so divided it by 4, it gives us 9 1/4. So I will be adding 3 inches allowance to that. You can leave it as this and you can add more, depends on your preference. When it comes to boubou gown, you understand, boubou gown is always wide or just the way you want it to be. So now I'll be connecting it from the armhole now, or the sleeve opening, to our bust point, which we just measure. And you remember, we are working on our hip from the bust point to down to your boubou gown. We are using just one size, which is your hip size, for a good fitting. So now I'm trying to make sure it aligns together with it. So now it's time to take our neck shoulder to shoulder measurement. So the shoulder to shoulder measurement I'm working on is 5 inches. 5 inches and half inches allowance. So for our stitching allowance. So from there now I go down by 1.5 inches for my back neck depth. Then you connect it from your shoulder to your neck depth at the back. Then for the front depth, the measurement I'm working on is 8 inches. So do not forget that our boubou gown has this collar, so you have to make sure another 1 inches inward from the 8 inches you just measure. You measure 1 inches, so opening it gives us 2 inches. Then you connect it from the shoulder to the neck depth. So now you go down from your shoulder to the hip measurements, which is 24. Then from there you take in, remember we took in 12 and some inches, 12 and 1/4, yes, 12 3/4 inches. You take the same thing on your hip line, and then you go down to the end of your boubou gown. You take it same inches you took for your hip and your bust, you take it down. Then now you connect it, you connect all the points together so it looks accurate. Don't mind the shock I'm working with. So guys, after doing that, the next thing we're going to be doing firstly now is to cut out our back measurements for the neck depth to the shoulder side. That's the first thing we'll do before separating our gown. Then you notch it so you get the midpoint for your shoulder. So this is it. You have to cut everything out now.
Nothing, nothing but the blood, nothing but the blood, Jesus. Nothing, nothing but the blood, nothing but the blood, Jesus. Nothing, nothing but the blood, nothing but the blood, Jesus. Nothing, nothing but the blood, nothing but the blood, Jesus.
So guys, after cutting it out now, we separate it and we cut it. Then we measure it now from the center back to the end of our front neck depth for our collar. So any measurement you take, you get from it is the collar will be cutting out our boubou gown. Don't forget, from the center back to the end of the depth of the front neckline. So what I got there now is 13 inches. So the 13 inches now is I got 24 inches, then with the allowance which is 1 inches, that's 13 inches. So accurately now we'll be cutting out 26 inches for our collar stand. So guys, this is the crepe material we'll be using for our collar stand. So what you do now is folding it into two, and then you measure your desired neck stand. So mine will be taking 2.5 inches for the stand and ½ inch for my sewing allowance. So remember, the length we are cutting out is 26 inches guys. So if you have like a pressing iron around, you can press it down before cutting this out.
Nothing, nothing but the blood, nothing but the blood, Jesus. Nothing, nothing but the blood, nothing but the blood, Jesus.
And you sew it down, you take it to your tailor's machine now and sew it down. I'll go now, I will come back and show you guys cutting it. Guys, this is the outcome of our collar, and then now is to make sure it's accurate, and you do the same thing for the hand. For the sleeve part, I've already cut out another crepe, same material for the sleeve part of it for the both side. So you cut this into two, and then you use it for the sleeve and for the other side of the sleeve too. So that's all for the sleeve. Then for the center part, we have to place another fabric. I'll be using 4 inches down to the end of our fabric, to the end of our boubou gown, and that's all for this boubou gown. So I'll be taking, I'm working on 4 inches, then I'll be taking extra 1 inches, making 5 inches for the sewing allowance to sew it down into our boubou gown. So I will go now and then give it a good press, stitch it down, then I'll come back and show you guys how it looks, and that will be the end of our, this is it guys. See how beautiful this looks. Even the sleeve, I've stitched it down. So what to do now is turn it to the other side. I use 5 inches, half inches down to the end of our fabric, and remember there is a slit beside it, so the slit you'll be taking your preferred measurement for it. Thanks guys for watching my video. Please do help me subscribe, turn on your notification bell so as to get notified each time I upload a new video. Share, like and comment. Bye, thank you. And guys, I'll be glad to see you more again on my page. Here is the final look of the dress guys. Bye.